I feel like every 12 to 16 months or so, we're kind of reinventing ourselves a bit, whether it's just like a facelift on packaging or just the intentional step back to look at the industry in terms of what competition might be doing or where things are going, just so we can kind of stay one step ahead of that curve and not look back with regret that we just got so stuck in like the day to day.
Thanks for listening. This podcast is sponsored by PWCC Marketplace. PWCC is the vault company that I personally use to store all my collectibles, my sports cards, my tickets, my memorabilia. In addition to their vault services, I also use them every Sunday. They have auctions that close at 7 p.m. Thank you so much, PWCC. You guys are incredible. Jameson Rodgers, thank you so much for joining on the podcast video. So give us a little bit background on you and all that good stuff. So, I mean, obviously we know each other for many years. You are the founder, co-founder, and president of CBDfx, obviously the best CBD company in the world. I'm an investor in, and I'm very bullish on you and on the company. So awesome. Thank you for coming and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Grew up here in San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. And started, this company about 10 years ago after kind of multiple successes and failures, and with the real mission of trying to help people provide a product to people that were looking to quit smoking, basically, and then that kind of evolved into what we thought was a number of different opportunities to fill gaps in the market. And then in 2014 started CBDfx, which was one of those huge opportunities that we kind of fell in our lap a little with different customers asking us to look into this industry, and then this has just blossomed into being, more or less our parent company and flagship brand.
It's amazing. So how many employees? Because I remember years and years ago it was a couple of people, and now there's, how many do you have?
Yeah, when we met you, I think 8 years ago or so, we were just 3 people in a garage, and just moved into our first 1,000 square foot office. And so, and with a dream and work ethic was that really pretty much it. And then now we're in about a 40,000 square foot warehouse here in Los Angeles, and have another warehouse in the UK, and then another one that we just opened a few weeks ago in Poland to service the EU market. And we've got about 70 full-time people on the team now, with a bunch of other partners that are, more or less consultants and work on different things.
It's incredible. And it's not like you've gone out and raised, $100 million. You've done everything just kind of bootstrapped a little bit.
Yeah. No debt, just trying to take last month's profit to next month's growth over and over and over again. Continue to try to make all the right decisions and as few mistakes as possible. Just trying to be super smart about things. But yeah, definitely just organic, slow and steady.
I can't imagine all the things that you've learned along the way. I mean, I invested initially because of you and our other partners, and that's the whole reason why I invested. And you've definitely shown that you're a rock star and you can do anything. What do you think the most important thing that you've learned?
I never knew that. I've never really ran a business before, right? So it was always just kind of me, and everything was based on my efforts individually and not necessarily the teams. And so I think the one big surprise at like year 4 or 5 in the middle of things was just how much of running a business is managing people, and like what makes different people tick. Some things are super important to one person, but it's not really what drives another, and just trying to really, just like the psychology behind motivating the people that I work shoulder to shoulder with every day, because it's just a different, everybody's so different, right? And so I think that was the biggest surprise. I didn't realize that going in. I thought, okay, well, we all need a job, and we're all going to be equally passionate about the same things, but no, it's so different.
Yep, I agree. Now, what about, have you read books on it? Did you take classes?
Not a big book guy. But I love reading articles about specific things that I'm interested in, and so no real books though. I've got a bunch of books. I just don't spend a lot of time reading them.
You just kind of learned how to manage people and manage those different personalities just by doing it over 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah. Because by nature, I think I'm a relationship based person, right? Just doing in our very first customer and kind of parlaying that into a bigger relationship with it, whether it's a distributor or someone we work with or things like that. And so I really do just love people. The majority of the reason why I think I get up every day and try to just keep pushing towards achieving our goals is because of kind of these little promises that I've made to the rest of the team over time. Just that I really want this company to be the best thing that they ever did. If we look back 30 years from now, I'm like, man, that I worked with Jameson and Allie and Dan and all these other the other team members, and that was like an awesome time in our life, and it really, I benefited professionally and personally and all that kind of stuff. I think that's a real motivating driver for me.
And that's something too. I've told you this before. I think if you ever do sell this business, you're going to look back and kind of miss those days. You're going to miss the grind and miss the late hours and miss doing it with the team. And that's something that you're always going to look back on. That was fun. That was it sucked going through it, but I think you're going to miss it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I don't know what I would do.
What's the biggest thing that you, like the best success you think you've had? Like, what do you think you kind of look back and like, wow, we crushed it on this? I can think of a lot that you've done. So I'm just curious what you think the best is.
Today is going to be our biggest e-com day ever. So I feel like we set these goals like at, the very first. I'm weird when it comes to just like setting these little micro goals over time, and it just keeps like pushing towards the next thing. But I think when we met you, my goal was to get into 5,000 retail locations, and so that was like the next little milestone. And then that's funny because that day comes, and then you're just like you don't even think about taking a second and like cheers or anything. It's just like, okay, what's the next thing?
Right.
And so there's been so many different milestones that we've hit. I set these weird little goals. There's multiple businesses within our business, and so. I remember setting a goal of I wanted to generate $5 a minute on our overall our business. I wanted to break it down by the minute or the hour, and so now with one of those that business that I'm thinking of is now we're just generating about $75 a minute, right? And so now the next goal is like 150 or 250, and we're just kind of like trying to make sure that every little decision throughout the day kind of is that goal is in the back of your mind to just try to keep pushing, and it's possible though. Yeah.
So tell us too, what are some retailers, by the way, that sell CBDfx? Because just seeing that they're sold there, what people don't realize is how much work and time it took you guys to hustle through and to get it in there. So those are big wins. So I guess CVS, Walgreens, wherever. I mean, what are some of the bigger places that you're sold at?
Yeah, they're a little weird about mentioning them sometimes. Okay. So, but you mentioned them just now, so that it's not me.
Okay.
The biggest e-commerce retailer in the world is one, and then a lot of the majority of the national accounts here in the States.
Got it. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, quick question off topic. $500, something you've bought in the past, I don't know, however many years, that has changed your life the most? $500 or less?
A notebook.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's like $20, $30 from Moleskine. I think that everybody made fun of me because when we started, everybody would see me all over the place at different trade shows, and I'd always have this Moleskine notebook and a pen. And if I was running to the restroom real quick or something, I didn't have it. They're like, Where's the notebook? It was like a staple, it was like connected to me. So I think that was that's something that really helped kind of keep me organized and make sure that I had a plan, and it was just always handy. I recently converted to this thing called the Remarkable, and it's basically like a digital notebook, and it has like unlimited pages because every like 3-4 months I was buying another Moleskine notebook, and like behind me in these little cabinets I have like years and years of just notebooks that I don't know if I'm gonna throw them away or. Who knows if there's something stuck in there somewhere that could be valuable. But
is it just writing? Do you just write notes or reminders, or what is it?
Just little things that I don't want to forget, and to kind of just go back to. Or if I'm Especially at trade shows, because that's where we kind of grassroots built everything. Just kind of like speed dating, rapidly just getting to know people and trying to figure out who was who within the industry. Just sitting down and just trying to remember how the meeting went, or what your key takeaways were, or follow up things that I needed to make sure of. Because after a few days at a trade show with like hundreds of conversations, it's hard to remember to. And follow up's everything. So many people have these meetings and then I never hear from them or whatever. So it's just. It's funny, you spend all that money and energy to get to sit down with someone, and then its follow-up is 99% of it, I think.
And that's where you've won, you think, more than anybody else, because you're good at the follow-up, whereas other people maybe, they're good at that in-person, hey, how's it going? Here's a sales pitch, and then they're not good with the follow-up to get the actual deal done.
Yeah. That's something I tried to take pride in early on.
No, I agree. I think that's the key to sales success for sure.
Yeah.
Do you make your bed in the morning?
Not lately. I have a little baby, so my wife's been just a rock star at just keeping the house in order. So I usually spend the first couple hours from like 6 to 8 or so just spending time with him. His name is Emerson, and so we just go for a walk or go down to Starbucks or something like that, and then 8 get up, get ready to and head out the door, and but my wife holds it down.
Got it. What time do you wake up in the morning?
6. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And then what time do you go to bed?
Like 1, like something like that.
Wow, that's not a lot of sleep.
No.
Wow. So you go to the office. So you see your kid from 6 to 8.
Yeah.
And you give him some Starbucks in the morning, get him going.
Yeah. He loves the cheese sticks right now.
and then you go to the office. Because that's what I think people don't realize. They see all these people, having this great success and, obviously where you are now, but they don't see the hustle that goes in behind it. And that was something that was so, I think part of the reason why I invested in you and Ollie is because of that hustle that you guys had and that relentless work ethic. So I guess they don't see that. So, how many days a week do you work? What hours are you there? Maybe share that. I think that's important for people to understand.
So, usually get home around 7 or 7:15, so it's consistently 10, 11-hour days. And then yesterday we were running around because we have...
Yesterday was Sunday, by the way.
Yeah, Sunday, yeah. So we were running around because we had all these Black Friday and Cyber Monday product launches, and we wanted to make sure that certain products that we started selling, day before yesterday, we quickly sold out of them. So we're in second production runs just within 24 hours or so. And so we're running around just trying to make sure that that all of that was coming off the production line this morning so that we could ship to customers today so they have a good shipping experience and all that stuff. So it's like a 24/7 thing. Most weekends it's nice because we can have a little bit of family time, but the warehouse is shipping every day, and the other core members of the team are just kind of whatever needs to happen to keep things flowing kind of thing. It's definitely not like a 9 to 5 for most of the core management, so we're just go. We're texting each other at midnight, like, how we close the day, and just like, let's go on to tomorrow, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it becomes a part of you. Okay, so warehouse. So you guys are unique, and I think this is something, if people have e-commerce businesses, you guys have your own warehouse. So you don't use a 3PL, which is an outsourced third-party logistics company, and you guys have actually brought it in-house. And I'll be honest, at Dope, I did outsource it, and it was a huge pain. This company that I use, Branded Online, were terrible, and they should have been sued by me because they were just absolutely horrible. So you guys actually bring it in-house. How is that experience? I think it's amazing because you can control your own fate, and you can be on it and go and touch it and feel it and get it out there personally. But you didn't know that business, so you built that from the ground up. That's another whole business within itself that you've built.
Yeah, I think we did it initially just because we didn't know better. I didn't think that there wasn't like a warehouse that would just take care of everything,
right?
And because we didn't really start with any money, and so paying someone to store and ship products that we really didn't know how much we were going to sell, in the initial days just didn't feel like responsible, which is why we just started in a garage with no overhead and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I think we just kind of did it out of necessity, not necessarily with a plan in mind. But there's pain points to everything. I think just knowing and learning what it takes to run a best practice fulfillment center, it's not second nature to most people, and everybody that we started with just kind of learned on the job because they were friends of friends, and they were willing to help and that kind of thing. So we've definitely professionalized things over time with the right systems and processes and things like that. But it was out of necessity of just like, man, why is this one pain point keep poking its head up, and like, all right, let's figure out what like the big boys do and try to take a page out of their book, and just constant improvements. But
And how'd you learn that? Did you call them and other people that are bigger boys and say, hey, I'm running this business, I need help? Or how'd you get that info? Or did you hire people and how'd you find them? Or
I asked friends that I met along the way that I knew that I thought were doing a good job, and they were super helpful. Just say, hey man, yeah, we dealt with that a couple of years ago, and this is what we do. And we didn't really have like just like standing team meetings on a weekly basis until like, I don't know, 4 years ago or so, and that transformed the business too, just in terms of accountability and not just going day by day and just talking about whatever problems come up as they come up, but having real set agendas to specific meetings for specific topics each week. So that was just one big leap that year. I feel like every 12 to 16 months or so, we're kind of reinventing ourselves a bit, whether it's just like a facelift on packaging or just the intentional step back to look at the industry in terms of what competition might be doing or where things are going, just so we can kind of stay one step ahead of that curve and not look back with regret that we just got so stuck in like the day to day.
Right.
And so that's just a constant evolution of stuff. We were just talking earlier about these just different new products that we're launching and things like that. Or it's kind of we started with just the like 3 SKUs when you and I met, in a total different segment that we don't even sell those products anymore. Like it's just
crazy.
It's just like, it's insane.
And that's good advice too. You either evolve or you die, and you guys have done a great job constantly evolving, staying ahead of the curve on logistics and on products and even the formulations of the products. You've done it.
It's not boring. Yeah. It's not boring.
What's your favorite product that you guys sell?
Gummies. Our red gummies are our bestseller within our gummies offering, and they're super delicious. Those and the turmeric and spirulina gummies, I think, are just staples.
How much CBD's in that?
25 milligrams per gummy. So, and the serving size is 2 gummies, so 50 milligrams of CBD.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel good? I mean, what's the people that don't know what CBD does? I mean, I guess, can you say that? I don't know if you can.
Yeah. I mean, CBD is, okay, so everybody, just a little disclaimer, do your own research, just dig in, CBDfx.com. You can learn all kinds of things about what CBD, what certain people have said that CBD did for them. But in general, it's just kind of a wellness support supplement in general. And so, everybody's body has this thing called the endocannabinoid system, and basically CBD just there's different CBD receptors and things like that your body needs, and CBD is beneficial for a bunch of different things from my personal experience and family members and things like that. Whether it's,
do you take it every day?
I do, yeah, just because we're sitting at the conference table and it's just always right there.
Yeah, so he just eating my candy.
Just forget lunch and just grab a couple gummies and keep it moving.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Wow. What's the best advice you think your mom gave you?
Probably you're known by who you hang with. Like you're the average sum of your friends. So I didn't grow up in a really good area at all. So there was always just trouble like a couple feet away. Just walking to the store or something. Anything could happen. So she really instilled in me that you're known by who you surround yourself with, and
great advice.
Just don't be afraid to be uncomfortable around people that seem to know a lot more than you, because you're gonna benefit from it over time. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's incredible. What about your dad? Did he give you different advice that you think is important?
Yeah. The one thing that sticks with me. He also said the same thing about you're known by who you hang with. But one thing that sticks with me too is he said if you can't explain it in 30 seconds, it probably doesn't make sense. So sometimes over the years I've got so stuck on certain ideas or wanting to make this thing work or thinking that an idea was like super awesome or exciting, and then trying to explain it to someone that if it takes longer than 30 seconds, either my pitch is totally off, or I don't understand
Yep.
it enough to explain it, or it just doesn't work. That kind of
No,
thing.
that's smart. And you hear these
Yeah.
people that speak so in just this huge words that no one else understands but them.
Yeah.
And I think it's better to explain things where people can actually understand. Anybody can understand it, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you shouldn't feel intimidated to do that. No,
Yeah.
that's incredible. What about the best advice? If you're going to tell your kid one thing, what's the thing that you're like super like I want to instill this in my son?
I think not being afraid to fail is the first thing that pops into my head. Because yeah, a lot of people just don't try stuff. Don't, if I don't know if it was just because I have a hard head or I didn't know what I was getting into or whatever, but if I knew all the challenges that we would experience over the last 10, 11 years since starting this business, if I knew all those challenges, or all the times that we almost failed and that kind of thing, I don't think that I might have been too scared to just take the first step, right? I might be flipping burgers or something. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
So it's more like it's more around embracing the failures, because that's the only way you really learn. I was fortunate enough to fail a ton of times early, and so I was able to take those lessons and apply them to today. And there's been a lot of duds, whether it's a product or like one little idea, and you just keep focusing on what's working and nurture that and build, and eventually you look back and like, oh, okay, like we're doing all right.
I've seen that a lot too in corporate environments. So the young kid, fresh out of college, fresh to his first job, he comes in with all these great ideas.
Yeah.
And everybody else is like, they've already been beat up and arrows in their back, and they're now a little more negative. So like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then eventually that kid becomes that same way.
Yeah.
So then the corporate environment slows down, takes less risks, because they're afraid to fail because they've been beaten up so much and they don't think anything is possible. But when you're young and hungry, you still have that kind of, I can do it. Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
Which I think is important to keep a piece of that,
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that mentality a little bit, then you're never going to try new things. And what's on the horizon for CBDfx now? I mean, what are you working on that you're super excited about, or anything you can share?
Yeah, trying to just step our game up when it comes to being a best-in-class direct-to-consumer e-commerce brand, as well as driving as much value as possible for all of our retail partners. And so really just trying to step things up this year. I mean, our goal is to be number one, right? So we want to go from what we consider is good.
What are you right now?
I think last time I looked at some of these things are kind of these third-party things are, take it with a grain of salt, but we're about the second largest privately held and like the third overall or something like that.
That's amazing. Because how many are there?
There was like 3,000 last report, I think 6 months ago. So there's a lot of brands out there. There was a lot less.
Top three.
Yeah.
And especially privately held top three is crazy.
Yeah, we're excited, but we feel like we're just getting started in so many different ways, and we got a lot of growth planned for 2022. So we're really excited about executing on all those things. Excited.
What's the craziest thing that an employee I don't know if you can talk about this, that an employee has done, at work? Like, just a crazy story. Did they come in, screw it up? Did they throw a desk? I mean, anything crazy like that? You're just like, holy crap! I cannot believe I just experienced that.
That's funny. There's a couple of stories, but we had an employee take his shirt off during a Christmas party on the dance floor, and and he was normally the most calm, like mild mannered dude. He was having a good time. And then I had another time where someone just in the middle of the day, I guess they couldn't take the pressure or whatever. I didn't think that they were under that much pressure, but we just see them walk into their car with like their their stuff, and I was just like, oh, okay, they just passed by the window. We're like, where is she going? And she just never came back. It's like,
wow,
stuff like that. But that's normal though. If you have a number of different people and personalities, everyone's going through different things at different times. And
especially the size you guys are now. I mean, that's yes, and California is a fun place to own a business. I'm sure from regulatory.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's on the daily Do you have it all dialed in?
Well, just what I eat, but literally do the same thing every morning in terms of when I check my emails and then just kick off the different meetings of the morning. All of our morning meetings are between 9 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. And then after that, it's just focusing on the list of like the top 5 important things that I wanted to try to accomplish that day. But all of our
That's great advice.
Yeah, it's helped a lot just in terms of that structure.
So you only do meetings during the morning?
Yeah, with the team meetings, and then there's like different vendors and things that come up, and just schedule all of those after 12:30. But I try to keep them light so I can focus on pushing progress on certain things in the afternoon.
Do you work out? Do you think that's important?
Yeah, I've been playing tennis lately, so I've been getting these tennis lessons. I saw you've been playing tennis too. So
Yeah,
that's been
trying to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's been my new thing this last 9 months or so. So I take a lesson every Saturday morning, and then I play with some buddies of mine every Sunday.
Oh, that's perfect. So 2 days a week, an hour on the courts.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good for the heart.
That's been good. Yeah, I had my whole gym routine dialed in, and then my baby came in and messed it up. So I'm trying to get back into that routine. But yeah.
Do you do it in the morning or do it in the afternoon? Like, do you have a routine on that?
I used to just go every morning at 6 a.m. or 6 or 7, something like that, and then just head to the office right after that. But that morning time is now just baby time. So,
got it.
The tennis is always in the morning. Yeah, 9
Okay,
o'clock.
got it.
So, yeah.
So then you've basically since having a kid, you've cut out the workout time and just spend that with your
we
son.
do these little walks and stuff, and so I just try to jog a bit there and things like that. But yeah, I used to go like religiously, and it felt great. I got to get back to it.
What's one thing you learned about being a dad? Is there anything that you're like,
Oh,
crap, I read all these books, or
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. To expect the unexpected. So just it's not your timing anymore, right? It's like whatever he wants to do and whatever ideas he's got. He just started recently, but this last week or so, coming over and grabbing your hand, and then taking you places that he wants to take you. And so,
Oh yeah.
so it's just like, okay, whatever I'm doing, I'm sitting there doing something or have my own plan. No, he's like, all right, I've got a plan for you.
I'm gonna take you over here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm trying to think of what other good advice that people may want to know. I mean, where do you see this market going? Do you think it's going to be in the meta? Do you think it's going to transition into being more cannabis? I mean, what are your...
It's going to be interesting to see how the CBD industry, which is basically just widely accessible, right, in every major state. It's going to be interesting how that fits into an environment where cannabis as a whole, like marijuana itself, is legal recreationally in every state, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily want to feel the high that comes with THC, but want to experience the health and wellness benefits that they're seeking from CBD. So I definitely think that at some point those things are going to be married. Just the CBD and THC living on a shelf, and we're trying to fill those gaps in different ways now. But it's going to be interesting because the cannabis industry as a whole is made up for people that both need it, but the majority of the people, at least here in California, I think, are seeking it out as a sense of relief. Like, instead of having a glass of wine at the end of the night, they consume cannabis in whatever form factor they're looking for. And so it's going to be interesting. CBD doesn't give you that same like high sensation, but it definitely could calm you out. We have a bunch of different products that people kind of gravitate towards to do that, that don't come with that high feeling. So it's going to be interesting. I think at some point we will be a well-rounded cannabis company in general, offering a plethora of different products that appeal to whatever the consumer might be looking for. And it's interesting. I went to MJBizCon for the first time this last a month or so. And it was really interesting to see that side of the industry, because up until this point, the area that we've been playing in with CBDfx has been so separated from the cannabis industry. They kind of, there's really no crossover and no reason to know who the players are.
You're more health and wellness, and that's more recreational. It's kind of been how the thoughts were.
Yep. So it's interesting just to kind of learn. I just went there just with a couple of guys from the team just to soak it up and just kind of see what was out there and how that whole industry is evolving. But it's really interesting. It's professionalized a ton. I was
Did
impressed.
you get any business while you're there? Did you pick up any more retailers?
Yeah, I knew that there was a number of people that were going to be there, and so I made sure to schedule little sit downs and lunches and things like that. And so definitely sat down and brainstormed with a couple of guys and met a couple of our vendors that are based out there in Vegas. So yeah, it was a productive trip.
That's great.
Yeah.
Can you say, like, let's say you want to get a national retailer. How long does it take from, putting that on your target list to actually getting the product in their store? Not saying a little mom and pop shop down the street. Those are great. But let's say a big boy, national chain, CVS, Walgreens, whatever, those kind of guys. What's the normal? How long does it normally take?
Depends.
I think in today's society, everybody wants things today, and they don't really take the time to know that, day by day, it's just getting a little bit better.
I think it depends who you can pick the phone up and call, because for years, retailers like CVS or Albertsons or Kroger and all those guys were on like the wish list of, oh my God, that's when we made it, right? That would be a dream, to work with these professional guys that, kind of put you on the map in terms of you're even if it was for free, just put one product on the shelf, and I feel like, okay, that was a huge accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
And so, but that was I'm going back to 2010, and really some of these other larger national retailers really started kind of falling into place here about 2 years ago. So 8 years later, 9 years later, but we just didn't know. We didn't know who could help, right? Kind of facilitate the conversations, and so. It's really the same recipe on the independent side also. If you want to get into individual stores, you can go to those individual stores and knock on their door and try to build a relationship with each person behind the counter. Or you can partner with a distributor who has their network and that's their business, and obviously sell to them for a little less so they can make a profit by selling to those stores. And then there's brokers that help facilitate relationships with both distributors and retailers. But knowing and there's a bunch of brokers out there, there's a bunch of distributors out there, but most of these key retailers early on in our space kind of chose one, maybe two distributors to help facilitate kind of helping them think through or see through the fog of all the thousands of companies saying, hey, we're the best, we're the best. So for us, it was a matter of trying to locate those distributors and build a relationship with that distributor, because they were the catalyst to basically consult with the retailers saying, hey, these are all the players, these are the good players, and these are the ones that I think are going to be around for the long haul, that kind of thing. So before we knew those people, we really didn't have a shot, right? So I always walked into to various retailers and scratched my head about like how did this brand, who maybe I've never seen before, how did they end up on the shelf, right?
Right.
And it's just relationship-based stuff. So it took years. But even when the conversation started and we actually got a commitment, it still took over a year to be on the shelf. It's crazy.
That is crazy. So the key is just follow up and patience.
Yeah, that's it.
Got it. Okay.
Patience. Yeah.
Investment wise, have you ever been a baseball card collector?
Yeah, so I know we talked about it a couple times, but I had actually just recently raided my mom's garage, because when I was little, she used to buy every Christmas. My mom and dad would buy me these upper deck, like baseball, like I don't know what they're called, but just the whole box of of that season. And so for Christmas, I had all these boxes, and maybe like 9 Christmases in a row, and I would always do different things. So I have these binders of like old basketball cards and baseball cards, and these sealed upper deck or like tops, like just cards. So I still haven't opened them, but I went there and got all the binders. Now they're in my garage, and I just need to sort through them. But I haven't jumped on this recent wave. I just don't know enough, and maybe I don't have enough time to get.
Are they still sealed? I mean, was it probably what, 80s and 90s?
Yeah. Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if they're valuable at all. I don't know.
You could have some gems in there. I mean, that's the junk wax era, but you've definitely got some hot cards in those years. That's for sure. If you got the right ones.
Yeah.
So you haven't broke them out. Like, you didn't look through them, or You just put
No,
them from one
I
garage to the
looked through
next.
I looked through the binder,
Yeah.
and there's some cool ones in there, like Michael Jordan ones, Scottie Pippen, and a couple other guys. But I don't know what's worth anything. It could be worth nothing or a lot. I don't know.
Now, those probably were not his rookie, 1986 Fleer or anything like that. They're
No, I
probably
don't think.
older or
Yeah,
newer.
yeah, I think so. I think so.
Did
Yeah.
you have a favorite player?
Um, yeah, Michael Jordan, of course. I mean, that was like
Yeah.
that was the everybody's go-to. Um, and then Magic Johnson was playing. I got to see him at the Forum when I was little, that kind of thing. So
See,
those,
that's why I'm so bullish on Jordan's rookie card, the 1986 Fleer in particular, just because it was everybody's favorite player. You know, us at that generation, the older generation, you know, our parents, but even the younger kids, they, you
yeah,
know, and now you collect the basketball shoe, you know, you collect the Jordan shoes, and
yep.
you know, there's only 318 of those in a PSA 10, so
Wow,
or
wow.
around there. I just think that there's more than 318 people that would want a perfect example of
Yeah,
that rookie card.
yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
as you know, that was your favorite player, and now is, you know, now you've got money, and once you have time, you know, you obviously you're working a lot now, and you've got your son, but maybe when you have time and you jump into the hobby, that's
yeah,
going to be the kind of card I think that you'd probably want to buy. Is like get
yeah,
his rookie card.
yeah. That's true.
And the Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson's card is a 1980 Topps, and it's in addition to being Magic's rookie card, it's also Larry Bird's rookie card on the exact same card, and Julius
Wow,
Erving. So you have three goats on
wow.
one card, and it's two guys that it's their rookie card. So
That's
that's one of
crazy.
my favorite cards too. And yeah, that card is just a monster. I've got a PSA 10 of that one too. So I think you should get both those. And then also, then you can show your, you know, show your son,
Yeah, yeah,
and put it away for when he grows up. These are my two favorite players, and you can tell him the story about you remember to play,
yeah,
watching them play.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
I,
The,
I'm, I,
the nostalgic factor.
yeah, because I
Yeah,
know you're a big Laker fan too.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, you know, in California, but yeah. So do you think you'll get into the hobby, or you're just,
I think so at some point. I think at some
yeah?
point. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I just think it's a good diversification of assets. It's like for me,
yeah.
it's like art. You know, I've got a 1916 Babe Ruth rookie that just
Wow,
landed on my desk that I'm excited about. Over 100 years, this thing.
that's insane.
Yeah. Well,
Insane.
we got to get you in that. That's for sure.
I know. I need some help. I need to be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah. Do you invest in like Bitcoin or anything like that?
No, just a little here and there, just a thousand
Yeah.
dollars here, $1,000 there, just to kind of get a feel for everything. Um, but yeah, just head down.
Head
Uh,
down. It's a good way to be.
yeah,
And that's how you win too. You know, a lot of people see this FOMO of investors, and you know, oh, they bought sheep coin or whatever. But
yeah,
if you look at all those, there's definitely the big fish stories, but
yeah,
they don't talk about all the times they've lost or all the people that have lost. And if you just keep
yeah,
your head down and do what you do best, which, you know, you being an operator of a great business, I think that's really how you build more generational wealth
yeah,
than getting lucky on a lottery ticket. You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
hear
yeah.
about those. It sounds amazing, but I think the better thing to do is just grind it out.
Stay true to the course. Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever think when you started this business that it would be where it is today?
No, no. The dream when we first started was just to get into every 7-Eleven in the country, and then we're set. That was the goal for the product that we had at the time.
Yeah.
So this just evolved into something completely different, but I'm super grateful. You know, it's every time you have the ability to pivot or turn or this or that, you just soak up new learnings. And yeah, we were fortunate to have, you know, key people join the team at certain times and just help round everything out. And so yeah, it's just evolved into something that I'm super proud of. But yeah, never could have imagined.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you a question about education.
Yeah,
Since you hire some people, would you rather have, you know, 25-year-old with or let's say 24-year-old, whatever, just got out of college, master's degree, great school background, great grades, really crushed it, great university, or
yeah,
same age person, but instead of that great university, great grades, maybe great history with another business, great experience, I guess. No education, but experience in kind of the job that you're hiring for? Which would you rather hire?
Yeah, experience 100%. And it's really about the personality. For us, we've had people from all different types, right? Like people that used to be lawyers and but aren't doing anything close to that for us now, but are amazing operators of like our EU division, for example. And just like you just have to be like the get after it, lean into a problem. Not just sit back and wait for someone to say, hey, this is what we should be doing. Everybody's so busy, and as the business has so many different moving pieces every day. The people that are really thriving with us are the core team, and we all have the same kind of mentality that just like there's no 5 bullet points on a job description, and then anything outside of these 5 bullet points I'm not going to do. It's more like just taking that initiative and thinking about the next couple of things that can really move the needle and drive value for the business, and that's what I'm going to focus on. And they're all super self-sufficient, and we all kind of share that same mentality, and self-motivating is probably the better word.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
So experience trumps education all day long. So you'd rather, got it.
I have no idea what degree or anything our COO or our VP of supply chain have, for example.
Or their grades in school.
Or their grades or anything like that. Just all I know is that they came in and on my whole pitch to them. I'm a really bad interviewer, by the way, because I think everybody's going to be awesome. So I'm like, look, I don't know who's going to have time to train you or anything, but we really need this role. And I don't even know. I couldn't be a COO or a VP of supply chain, right? A lot of the stuff was just not my second nature. But the main goal is that fast forward 3 months. We should all feel like, what the hell did we do without this person? Like, this person is invaluable to the business. Like, so that was my little short speech, and it was just like, okay, ready, like go, like figure out where you can drive the most value and whatever that means, and we'll huddle up every day or every other day, and then let's debrief and push forward and that kind of thing. And everybody that's a part of that core, there's probably 8 or 9 people on the team that are part of that core. They all have that same mentality of just of pushing and taking that initiative without really worrying about a job description or anything.
Got it. Great advice.
Yeah.
Jameson, I know you're busy. You've got so many meetings. Cyber Monday. So get out of here. But I just wanted to, thank you so much for sharing your story. Yeah. So much great advice. So much I think anybody could take out of this, and that's the whole point. To get a little business talk, but also to get just nuggets of advice that you've provided. So thank you so much, and keep killing it. Oh wait, how do they find you? How do they find the business? What do you want to promote there?
Yeah, CBDfx.com, or look up CBDfx on Instagram. We've got a lot of new things happening, and stay tuned.
Love it. Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much,
Rob. Killing it.
So much fun.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Bye, buddy. Bye.